Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Brahma Mera Striparan Takare. Banushashi Bhumisita. Buddhasha Gurusha Shukra. Shani Rahu Keteva. Sarvigraha Shantikara Bhavantu. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Greetings and welcome to another episode of KozmicKev100. This is your weekly astro video zine where we take the signs of the zodiac, the planets or the grahas, which actually means grabbers, and the houses, and make sense of them in accordance with your rising sign, your moon sign, or your sun sign, if that's the only thing you know about. Most of this forecast is in tropical Western astrology, but I do begin with the Vedic sidereal zodiac because it has a lot of ancient wisdoms and has a scientific relevance in that that's where the actual constellations planets are in. So like if you're born, say, February 2nd, you actually weren't born when the sun was in Aquarius. The sun was actually in Capricorn. Sun didn't go into actual Aquarius probably until about the 11th, 12th, or 13th of February. So, we've got some inconsistencies of knowledge. Some Western zodiacs based on seasons, not on where the planets are. So, we've got a moon today. This morning Pacific time. It's in Aries, and actually it's an Aries constellation too. And by 3 or a little bit after 3, we are going to have 3:42. Moon will be in the Western zodiac sign of Taurus, but it'll still be in the constellation of Aries. So, what part of the lunar mansion Aries that the moon is in today is known as Ashvini, which is like the first part. Now, Ashvini is the celestial healers. They are the Ashvini Kumaras, and they were twins, and they brought swift healing. Now, this particular lunar mansion or nakshatra is ruled by Ketu. Ketu is the south node of the moon. So we see the north node over here in Taurus. We could just kind of superimpose it over there, or in Scorpio. Very active there it would be. And so the south node of the moon is what gives us our intuition. It's what gives us our past life memory. It's what gives us ancestral memory. And science has even proven that ancestral memory goes back 14 generations. That's quite a long while. The Ashvini Nakshatra reminds me a lot of a 70s drama that was on TV about two paramedics called Emergency. And so the two paramedics are sort of symbolic of the Ashwin twins that would bring celestial healing. And in fact, if you've got a disease or something that's difficult to heal, Ashvini can heal that. It's a good sign for healing. So if you're going to a medical practitioner on an Ashvini moon, like if you went today, you might have heard good news, or at least you got news that there's a treatment that can help you with what you're doing. Beyond that, one of the symbols is a two-headed horse. Anything to deal with horses or equestrian topics, they flourish in Ashvini. So there's another reason to love this moon, and it's actually the first moon in the sidereal Vedic zodiac. So we can kind of feel this new start perhaps come on, and we are in a waxing moon period now. The moon's been growing since Chinese New Year, since the 21st, 22nd, and so on it goes. So with that said, the other thing is that, not so much with the, because the south node's in Scorpio, but most of the planets are on one side of the zodiac. It's not what I'd call Salkarpa Yoga, but it is, there's a real concentration. There's kind of a one-sidedness and an imbalance, and we've seen that before, especially like a couple years ago, 3 years ago. It was sort of like that, and oh boy, God help us all as we go through this week. But with that said, I want you to, like this video. I want you to share it. I'd love you to subscribe, have the bell notification rung. Need more subscribers. Always want to thank the people who subscribe to this video. So let's see. Let me go in here and get a look at who you all are, because that's the only way we're going to get anywhere with any of this, right? Oh boy. I wish this type of thing was a little easier to do. But I'm a dork in some ways when it comes to social things like this. But here we go. Yeah, I see something here. Let's get out of him. There we go. And see my people. Mention my people. Okay, well, Valerie, I want to thank you. You've been pretty faithful. Rebecca, I want to thank you for being faithful. Shant for commenting. It seems like I had somebody new here. Oh, here we go. Now we're seeing it all. Now it's all coming to me now. All right. Well, let's all right. Back to my channel. Back to my people. I just want to thank you once again, and I'm looking forward to being with you when we do this again next week, but we're going to go for it right now. All right, so without any further ado, I'm looking at this stuff. We're starting with you, Aries. So greetings, Aries. Welcome your horoscope. So Jupiter's in the first house. Jupiter brings a lot of growth. Jupiter brings expansion. Jupiter makes you closer to spiritual knowledge. Jupiter is going to bring more important people in your life, people with a certain amount of power, a certain amount of weight, a certain amount of sway are going to be there for you this week. Aquarius time. Well, it rules your 11th house, so this is getting together with people. And I know this has been kind of weird because, I mean, people are just, in the last year, people have been getting together more. I mean, that's a fact. But there's been some people that got in that 2-year period so in the habit of not being with people, they're too scared to be with anybody. And maybe they do show up and they're in a corner with a mask on and hoping to God they don't give somebody something or contract something. And, fear is a horrible way to live. We weren't like this. This isn't how we grew up. And yet, and the nice thing about being an Aries is normally that's a sign that's associated with courage. Mars is direct now, so that should make you more courageous. Mercury's direct, so it makes it a little easier for you to speak your mind. It's interesting. There's been a lot of transformation going on right now. A lot of changes, and we can feel that on a deep level. And so your whole thing though is you'd rather get together with people right now. Good friends, helpful people are coming your way, but there's a serious tone to it, the meetings, because Saturn's there in the 11th house. There's this kind of seriousness about all your meetings and relationships. Oh boy. Let me go say greetings, Taurus. Welcome your horoscope. Well, in Native American astrology, in the tropical astrology they call Taurus the beaver, and Aquarius is the otter. And so they're both kind of similar animals. They're these mammals that have this aquatic feature to them. One thing I've noticed about the beavers, beaver dads teach the pups how to swim. And a lot of Taurus men are really good fathers. I mean, I know that it's a big generalization, and 12 signs of the zodiac, especially sun signs, they're like cousins. There's like 30 different types of each one. So, we'll say, I think though that Taurus is probably known for having really fixed views. I mean, it's Earth, it's a fixed sign. They're not going anywhere, you know. And in one sense, that gives them a real sense of reliability. They're reliable people. North Node's there. North Node makes people feel displaced. You know, like, I don't know if I belong here. Uranus is like, I'm a little bit weirder than I used to be now, you know, as a Taurus. It's like, I need to mix it up. I need to be more surprising. Now today, Friday, you know, it's after 3, moon's in your sign. So this is like, moon in Taurus is exalted. It's a good moon. It's like, it's a feel-good thing because Taurus is really the sign of satisfaction. Now, Venus just moved into Pisces, so that puts it in the social house, the 11th house. So you're more likely to want to socialize and meet people now. You're likely to take that chance. I mean, face it, folks, we're all going to die anyway, and you know, the World Health Organization doesn't seem to think our life is that valuable, although they have a front like it does. But they're not paying attention to all the statistics, and so they're kind of cherry picking to put you in a perpetual state of fear, and that they're the only people that are going to help us and help the planet. Oh, God help us all. Taurus, it's good that there's people like you with fixed views that may not be going along with that. That's all I can say. Greetings, Gemini, and welcome to your horoscope. I mean, you've got the power. That's what I say to anybody who has Mars transiting their first house, is that there's a sense of individualism that's tough and that's powerful. Now, Mercury is running around your 8th house. 8th house is about the occult. It's about magic. It's about death. It's about sex. It's about other people's property. And generally, a lot of things happen in the 8th house that we're not under complete control over. Now, Saturn's in Aquarius, and wise people, but maybe there's been limits in your relationship with your father that you need to have addressed. Maybe there's been limits on your ability to travel that need to be addressed. And with the sun there's a possibility you'll get to that right authority. You know, it's like getting to the right authority if you had a court case so that you'd win your case. And I mean, 9th house is generally a lucky house, but you're kind of needing help. And when Mercury's transiting the 8th house, asking for help is going to probably end up in you getting help, unless you're one of those people that's always I won't say always, that's not very good, but very often ask for help, and you're known as a person who needs help a lot. Okay. Greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. Okay, so go right. We got Moon in Aries going into Taurus. Kind of like a happy place for you, really. When the Moon goes into Taurus, so you know, it could be like an exciting party, a really good get together. I'd go for an exciting party or a really good get together. Things are interesting lately. I don't know about you personally, Cancer, looking at the world, but in my own little world, in my own little bubble, I think I've witnessed more people that I know die in the last 4 or 5 months than I've ever seen in my life. And I know I'm not, you know, a spring chicken. I'm an older cat. But a lot of these people are younger than me, or just a little bit older than me, not that much. And some of them had very active physical lives that it's just sort of shocking and surprising. They weren't like geriatrics, all crippled and stuff. I mean, I see people that are homeless that are like in their 30s that seem more crippled than a lot of these people. And yeah, there's been some young ones too, ones in the 30s even, that I've seen pass away. We always need to demonstrate compassion and empathy, because that'll increase us to have better relationships. As soon as we think like an ideology or information is a threat to the world, I mean, that's a pretty, I don't know, we never were like that before. This is sort of like a social media whipped up frenzy of fear. It's like we got to get back to the old days, folks. Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's not to say that words don't hurt and that some misinformation can present danger if people act upon it in the wrong way. That's all. But it's not like, oh my God, the sky is falling, like some people would like you to think, like people that are misinformed are terrorists. That's effing ridiculous, folks. That is effing ridiculous. And this kind of power play is very likely to be bullied upon people who actually are bringing about misinformation. The most powerful, largest laps of luxury, the billionaires protecting themselves as they make an all-out assault on people's health and offer a quick fix with no liability if anything goes wrong with it. That is the hardcore truth. Yeah. And but for you at this time, you're in the public eye a lot. So everything is like out there for you. It's very out in the open, and you're going through a lot of personal transformation. In fact, it's been kind of a hard time for Cancer. It's been a little bit depressing. But you've got this nice sense of aesthetics. You've got this love that you bring into work. You bring that into your public karma. And I think that's working for you. I think we need you. And I think you're going to have a good weekend. You're going to have some fun times. You'll get together with your revolutionaries. All right. Greetings, Leo. Welcome to your horoscope. I mean, Leo, we're getting more like we're dealing with the public, but we're also dealing with relationships with other people. You know, Aquarius is our marriage sign. It's our partnership sign. You don't see a lot of Aquarians and Leos together. I mean, I'll admit that, even though they could be the best match for each other. And one is, you know, they're both fixed signs. They're both masculine signs, and that air is masculine, fire is masculine. So there's a sort of sense of independence among both of these signs, Aquarius, Leo. So the key to good relationships is actually showing where we're vulnerable, being honest. God, I feel vulnerable. And it's really hard for one sign whose key phrase is I know, and another sign whose key phrase is I will, to show vulnerability. But this is exactly what's going to be needed. Now, Venus is in your 8th house right now, and that's other people's property. And I mean, we don't want to be needy in our love relationships, especially as men. We get really put down, and it's not considered attractive by most women. No matter how much they say, "Oh, what a sensitive guy," you know, unfortunately, that is not the science behind it. That's not how things are working. And you know that. And I've talked to other women too, and they'll admit it. A guy who tries too hard, you know, is doing all the nice things. I don't really like nice guys. Okay? Oh, that's not true. Just hush. You know, I've been around the block. What they like is a man who's confident, who has a sense of direction, doing what he wants, but that he also knows is good and is valuable, and is determined to do that. That's exciting. That's more of a turn on. But there might be a point, Leo, where you have to say, God, I need love. You know, and you can still be vulnerable and be directive. It is kind of a fine line. But sometimes ask people for help. Ask that gal you like to help straighten out your tie. See, when you allow someone to invest in you, it psychologically they'll feel like you have some kind of value. So sometimes asking for help in your case is going to be good. Same thing, Aquarius. It's like, in order to be a know-it-all, you're sort of alienating yourself from new knowledge. And hey, is there a chance you could help me with this? I'm wondering what this situation is like and where you want to go. You know, inviting other people. That's going to be the key, Aquarius. I mean, you're kind of on the top of the world, you know. But Leo, you know, enjoy life. You know, life is going to be good. Okay. Greetings, Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope. So Virgo, like in relationships, is sort of like this is where Venus normally gets debilitated, but Venus is in Pisces. Venus is exalted in Pisces, and so for Virgo, relationships should be sweet right now. Yeah. And so if you haven't been in a relationship, one's coming up. And if you're in one, it could go away and someone else could move in real quick. I know. Like, wow. I think the most attractive thing you could do is really practice a lot of self-love, self-care. Aquarius rules your 6th house. It's like you really got to take care of your health. Mercury's in Capricorn, though. Expressing yourself, writing stories, writing songs, painting, paying attention to your children, kids in your life, just having fun with words. That's good. Being good to your heart. You're directed, you show a lot of leadership ability and a sense of direction right now with Mars moving forward in your 10th house. And your occult knowledge, metaphysical knowledge is really sharpening up a lot. And this weekend looks like a good time for a party or a trip or something. Okay. Well, greetings Libra, and welcome to your horoscope. Okay, so Venus is in Pisces, and so that is your 6th house, and that's a lot of work. Okay, well, let me put it that way. Okay. Mercury is in your 4th house, so a lot of information about parents, about ancestry, about your home, where it came from, what's going on right in your own little neck of the woods, and maybe doing a remodel. That's your wealth if you were moving. Sun's in your 5th house. It's love, it's heart opening, it's fun. You're in an adventurous place with Mars in the 9th house. You want to learn about occult stuff. It'd be a good weekend for a little witchy party or something, I guess. Some kind of or spiritual party, meditation, your church group, your temple, your mosque, your ashram, that type of thing. Okay. Greetings Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope. Well, Aquarius is a fixed sign. That's an air sign. That's called the bearer of water, but it's by no means is it a water sign. Aquarius rules your 4th house. So, for Scorpios, I kind of think of like Aquarius time. This is cabin fever. This is January 20th to the 18th of February, and you're just kind of like, in the northern hemisphere, especially if you're north of 35 degrees latitude, you're like, it's cold, I don't want to go out, I'm waiting for spring, this is annoying, or at least waiting for late winter when there's a little more sun, and the blossoms come out, and the flowers, and you can dream about it. There's stories too, things about your parents, things about ancestry right now, about your property, about where you find your happiness. We all have to find our happiness somewhere. So yeah. No, I made a little boo-boo. Made something drop. It's okay. I just pick it up. Let me go to Sagittarius. Okay. So greetings Sagittarius and welcome to your horoscope. Alright, so what do we have here? We've got Jupiter in Aries. That's your 5th house. It's lovely. Your heart is opening up. You should be having a pretty good time. I think a lot of times when you're having a good time, things, it's easy to feel like, hey, I'm running this whole show. You're happy with your kids, you're happy with life. That's good. I have one friend who's Sagittarius that, he got really annoyed with me because I shared with him he's super pro-Ukraine, help them, It's good to help people. I just want to say that. Wherever you're doing to help people, it's good to help people. But that, that people are people, and it may not be what the narrative is telling us going on in Ukraine completely. And and that was completely offensive to this guy. He was Sagittarius to the max, too. And I mean, he went as far as to cover up graffiti and tagging with the Ukrainian flag. I mean, it's not that bad. It was probably more tasteful than the graffiti. But I was just kind of shocked. He unfriended me because I presented, let's talk about this. What do you think about this? He didn't even want to talk about it. I was like, is this what we've turned into as human beings? We can't even discuss things anymore. We're like on teams. It's like our opinions are now our religion. Or opinions are dangerous, you know. Oh, God. How did we ever get here? And I mean, for those of you who are like, 25 and younger, I'm sure you have no idea. For those of you who are over 40, you know this is weird. You're going like, oh my God. No, please, God, no. even some over 30s are like that. So no, this is... But, and there's some young people that are super smart. But it's like, other people count Sagittarius, and you're gonna get in trouble with your relationships for being too independent and so self-assured. We have to show some amount of vulnerability, once again, to have relationships. And Aquarius time, well, that's about your friends, your siblings. You got to work with them, or you're not going to have any. It's just like that. Okay, greetings Capricorn, welcome to your horoscope. You've had a lot of insights, and this has been an insightful time. I think last week on Wednesday, Sun and Pluto were together. It was an interesting day. There's a lot of transformation and change in the air. I could feel that. And we got Mercury there too. Sun and Saturn are in your second house. That's about money. So you're really trying to up the ante economically. You kind of need, the holidays. We often spend a little more than we need to. We have greater cost as far as heating goes than we do in the spring or summer. So we might be a little tapped out from that. So it's about family, it's about values, it's about resources, and how we can generate more resources at this time. And it's sort of introspective. I mean, look at how all the grahas, all the planets, they're in the bottom part of your horoscope. So this is a little bit difficult. It's not like the easiest thing for you. It's important to just acknowledge what your needs are. And, Mercury's direct, Mars is direct, Saturn's in the sidereal as well as tropical Aquarius. You're finding, though, this weekend's going to be fun for you, though. That's, I think, with the moon in Taurus, that's the 5th house for you, so it's going to be good times. You'll be enjoying, you'll be riding high, boom, on the good times. Greetings Aquarius, welcome to your horoscope. Your key phrases I know. Isn't that like probably one of the most arrogant phrases, but we want to say that. It's also kind of a nerdy phrase too. For those of you who grew up in like the 70s, there was a show called Welcome Back, Kotter, and there was this kid named Horseshack, and he says, Mr. Kotter, I know. And it's like, oh my gosh, And then half the class was like, Stone doesn't care, or is just not of any kind of intellectual aptitude. They could understand what's even going on in the classroom. But Horseshack would, he was that nerd that had the answers, or at least thought he did. Knowledge. Knowledge doesn't come by easy. And, Aquarius, second to last sign in the zodiac, it's sort of like you've earned your accumulated knowledge. I mean, most of you are pretty smart. That's my observation. You've seen a lot of things. And this is your time to celebrate life. I mean, you're the flavor of the month. My goodness, it's Aquarius time. It's the middle part of it. So a lot of you are having birthdays this week. And birthday shouts to some of you. Some of you don't want me to acknowledge your birthday, so I won't. But say birthday shout out to Mama Rose. I know she's having a birthday this week. I don't think she'll get mad at me. I just can't tell you how old it is. Isn't that weird how there's like older people, especially older women for some reason, don't want you to know how old they are? I I mean, I guess that means we're treating older women badly or something. That's a shame, you know. We need our grandmothers. We need our old ladies, you know. And you should be proud of every single year you've walked the face of the earth, because that's where you've gotten your wisdom and information from being there. You don't want to pretend like you're a young jerk. Don't dumb yourself down just to think that it's cuter. It's not. Well, yeah, it can be harder to get a job. I mean, but that goes back to the whole thing. It's like, don't discriminate against old people. Make it cool to be old, like they do in Eastern countries. I mean, you've got a lot more energy right now. You've got really this sort of drive for your personal vision. I mean, I think, like I was saying to Leo, the last one, is like, be really careful of this my way or the highway type of attitude. You're getting all this squared energy from Uranus right now and Taurus, and it could create this sort of uncomfortable mix for yourself. But, you know, trust good values, and maybe you'll be surprised by the wisdom of your ancestors. They'll help you. All right. So, here we go. Greetings, Pisces. Welcome to your horoscope. Well, I mean, wait a second. I did it again. Gotta go back to Pisces. Okay. So, it's like the world's falling apart. Sure, I get that. You know, it's one big dumpster diver, or one big dumpster fire. So let's get the marshmallows, right? You want to roast it all in our marshmallows, and it's, you know, if life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, and so it's actually, you know, one of my friends, he's actually a Virgo, but this is good information for you, Pisces. It's that it's not the things that are sweet that we're drawn to that make life good. It's really the bitter things that give us the most valuable lessons, and they're the best for our health. So the sweet things aren't that good for you. The sweet things can give you diabetes, but the bitter things can actually improve your digestion, detoxify your liver, help your whole body function more. And the same thing with life. A lot of times the things that were easy for us, it really didn't present any challenge. It didn't really make us a better person, but the things that actually were difficult, it was this opportunity to bring out this better side, this stronger side that we never had or never knew that we had living within us. You know, going through a 12th house transit with Sun in Aquarius, Saturn there. So things might be, you know, you might feel this lost sense of boundaries, this lost sense of knowledge, this lost sense of a social life even. And all of this is going to return to you 12-fold in a better way. It's just, have trust in whatever your concept is of God or the higher good, and don't lose that faith. And may it be a generator of compassion and love for others, so that you get through this week in a good way. And, you know, if you're trying to be sober, hang out with sober people. You know, change your circle of friends to people that do the things that you need to do and want to do during this time. So thank you, friends, for being here with me on this horoscope for February 20th through the 27th, 2023. KozmicKev100. I am so looking forward to being with you when we do this again next week. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share it with a friend, ring the bell notification. I love your comments. Please keep them coming. You count. So, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh, let me stop.